Hey, thanks for joining me. Hope you're doing well. The word Agartha is of Buddhist origin. It refers to the subterranean world in whose existence many Buddhists passionately believe. This heavily concealed kingdom has millions of inhabitants and many cities, all under the supreme domination of its capital, Shambhala. Oftentimes, Shambhala is not a city, but the name of the entire sub-earthly paradise. In the Middle Ages, this paradise was referred to as the Isle of Avalon, where the Knights of the Round Table, under the leadership of King Arthur and under the guidance of Merlin, went in search of the Holy Grail, a medieval symbol of immortality. When King Arthur was seriously wounded in a battle, he requested his companion Belvedere to depart on a boat to the confines of the earth with the following words: "Farewell, my friend and companion Belvedere, and to the land where it never rains, where there is no sickness and where nobody dies." This is the land of immortality, or Agartha, the subterranean world. And as I've been explaining in my videos, the entrance to this etheric paradise is located at the North Pole, at the center of this flat earth, where the aurora borealis shoots out of. The Rosicrucians designated Agartha by the French word vitriol, which is a combination of the first letters of the sentence Visita interiora terrae rectificando ingenes omnia lapidem. This is a popular alchemical phrase which translates as "visit the interior of the earth, by rectification thou shalt find the hidden stone." On this alchemical seal, the words contained within the acronym of vitriol are seen alongside the outer rim. There is a grail catching the light from the sun and moon. Underneath, we see the feminine sign pointing downwards, pointing to what is the black sun, the feminine womb of creation. This is telling us to find the Holy Grail, beyond which lies the interior of the earth. Related to vitriol is the symbol of the green lion devouring the sun. On a chemical level, this is a metaphor for when a green sulfate, called vitriol, purifies matter, leaving behind the gold within the matter. Very pure vitriol is an acid that eats through practically anything except gold. But I'm informing you, this symbol is not simply about a chemical process. That definition is an allegory for the aurora borealis. Vitriol is an emerald color, just like the primary color seen in the aurora lights. What we're seeing here is actually the aurora borealis hitting the sun, metaphorically collecting his blood, just like the story of Jesus Christ's blood being collected by the Holy Grail, which I briefly described in my last video. Like liquid sulfate, this astral light coming from the inner earth purifies everything, and when we find and apply vitriol to ourselves, when we take the plunge through the center vortex, we will be renewed, left with only gold, without dense physical bodies, and purely of our auras. The word aura itself contains the abbreviation for gold, AU. This is no coincidence. The auroral energy has also been called vril. The vril energy, as described by Helena Blavatsky and Edward Bulwer-Lytton, suggests a state of creation that existed prior to the formation of matter. It's the same thing as the emanations let out from Sophia in the quintessential Gnostic tale, and is what we see visibly as the aurora lights. It's been referred to also as chi, orgone, and prana. In the book The Coming Race, there are subterranean beings known as the Vril Ya, who live harmoniously, harnessing Vril energy and using it to create widespread bliss among their civilizations. They are practitioners of the Vril, and are able to influence an individual so that he absorbs knowledge through the subconscious. Besides symbols relating to vitriol, there are many other alchemical symbols pointing to the way out. Here we see the feminine triangle pointing to the feminine origin, the black sun. The 8-petaled lotus is worth noting. Tibetan texts describe Shambhala in the form of an 8-petaled lotus. An ancient art of Shambhala shows it existing within an 8-rayed formation. This is the black sun from the 1582 Splendor Solis. This one depicts the as above, so below principle as related to our two suns, the white one above our heads and the black one underneath. The Greeks and Romans believed in Hades or hell, and it was through this empire that Christianity spread like wildfire in the early centuries after the Common Era. But the idea of hell has been deliberately twisted, and the underworld has traditionally been a very desirable place where the gods lived. In fact, most of the Bible has been manipulated for the masses. The Bible is not a primary text. Most of the stories are watered down and slightly altered versions of tales that originated in ancient Egyptian, Indian, and Sumerian schools of thought. The Egyptian symbol, the Ankh, was the most revered symbol and was used all throughout hieroglyphics. Among many things, it was a symbol of life and illustrated the union between the divine masculine and divine feminine. However, the feminine aspect was taken out and turned into a cross. The cross represents the emphasis on masculine ideals without the feminine. And as I've stated over and over again, it is the loss of the feminine, corresponding to the degradation of Mother Earth, which is responsible for much of the chaos externalized in this reality. The Ankh is also a symbol for immortality, and I explored in an older video how it reveals the center vortex. So in the same way the Egyptian Ankh was inverted, so was the idea of the underworld. Duat was the underworld in ancient Egyptian mythology. It was the realm of the deity Osiris and the residence of other gods and supernatural beings. The souls which balanced the scales of Duat are allowed to start a long journey to what's known as Aru, where they will exist in pleasure for all eternity. The word Aru is an anagram for aura, meaning when one successfully crosses Duat and into Aru, they are only their soul, their immutable pure energy, their aura. This is akin to the application of vitriol, purifying matter into gold. Like I said earlier, our aura. Aru, aura, could it be more hidden yet clear? In Norse mythology, the Bifrost Bridge is a bridge one must cross in order to reach the abode of the gods, Asgard. We could make a connection between Duat and Aru with the Bifrost and Asgard. Both refer to points that we must cross in order to reach a heavenly realm. This is Agartha through the North Pole, where all compasses point to, begging us to come pass. The Smoky God is a true account written by Willis George Emerson in 1908. Which describes the adventures of a Norwegian sailor named Olaf Jansen, who sailed with his father through an entrance into Earth's interior at the North Pole. Later works by other authors have identified this civilization with Agartha, and I quote, "My father was an ardent believer in Odin and Thor, and had frequently told me they were gods who came from far beyond the north wind. There was a tradition, my father explained, that still farther northward was a land more beautiful than any that mortal man had ever known." The author goes on to describe jovial men and women, giants, who were all 10 to 12 feet in height, mentioning that their complexion was of most delicate tint, heightened by a healthful glow. Describing the landscape of Inner Earth, he wrote, "The great redwood trees of California would be considered mere underbrush compared with the giant forest trees extending for miles and miles in all directions. The strange conditions within are favorable not only for vast meadows of luxuriant grasses, forests of giant trees, and all matter of vegetable life, but wonderful animal life as well. The great moisture and invigorating electrical light and warmth account perhaps for the luxuriant vegetation, while the highly charged electrical air and the evenness of climatic conditions may have much to do with giant growth and longevity of all animal life. The city of Eden is located in what seems to be a beautiful valley. It is the most beautiful place I have ever beheld in all my travels. In this elevated garden, all manner of fruits, vines, shrubs, trees, and flowers grow in riotous profusion." The book Paradise Found, the Cradle of the Human Race at the North Pole, corroborates the idea of Eden being situated on, or as I've explored, beyond the true North Pole. The Book of Enoch is an ancient religious work that was left out from the Bible as we know it today. In chapter 18, Enoch is taken by beings known as the Watchers, and he actually describes the inner earth through the North Pole vortex. And I saw the winds on the earth which support the clouds, and I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of heaven above. This is a clear reference to the flat earth firmament, or dome, above our heads, with its revolving stars personified here as angels. And I went where there were 7 mountains, and the middle one reached to heaven, like the throne of the Lord. This middle mountain that reaches to heaven is indeed a reference to the Axis Mundi, what I simply call Mount Meru. In my video on the Axis Mundi, I summarized this world pillar in cultures and mythologies throughout the world. It is always located at the center of cosmology. And I saw a burning fire, and what was in all the mountains. And I saw a place there beyond the great earth. And I saw a deep chasm of the earth, with pillars of heavenly fire. This deep chasm is the North Pole vortex, conjoined to the Axis Mundi, and the burning fire is indeed the Aurora Borealis. Mount Meru is the cosmic center, a bridge between universes. The flat earth trinity of black sun, sun, and astral light all meet at this location, generating this holographic reality. So the North Pole is where the party is at. This is where we will have the ability to leave the cycle of reincarnation. If you want to take part in the mass exodus in 2019 we're planning, you must perform blood over intent. This is reactivating our long-lost Hyperborean memories and reconnecting us with our divine nature permanently. Blood spilled over any written intent activates that intent, and when published beside everyone else's, this creates a ripple effect of divine knowledge. Spill a few drops of your blood on the phrase, "I intend to bring forth heaven on earth," and publish it beside ours. There are thousands of us, growing in number each day, waiting to take the plunge into the center vortex and become renewed. Blood is our inner spirit coursing throughout our body. It's not merely a physical substance, but constitutes the breath of life on all spiritual levels. In 2018, myself and a few others are taking the initial excursion to the North Pole entrance, and we will come back and shock the world with our footage and experiences. The next year, 2019, everyone who has spilt their blood will make an exodus. We are bringing forth heaven on earth, and then we are leaving the Matrix. Our eyes are on the prize, our compasses being our guides, our blood being the substance which binds us all on this mission, and our hearts which are drawn to go to the paradise of Agartha. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your support, and until next time, I love you all.
Greetings, player. Welcome to the Earth Matrix Game 21st Century Edition. This is your orientation. Begin Part 1. Your soul will be placed in a heart and a body. You will be trapped in a cage called the Wreath Cage. You will be further contained within trillions of tiny prison cells. We will start your heart and your gameplay in the Earth Matrix will begin. The goal of this game is to find and pass through the exit. The exit is located at the North Pole. It is a stargate, a wormhole that returns you to paradise and eternal life. Your memory will be wiped before entering the game. You will not know the goal of the game. It is up to you to awaken and discover the goal. The goal of this game is to find and pass through the exit. The exit is located at the North Pole. The goal of this game is to find and pass through the exit. The exit is located at the North Pole. Begin Part 2. You will only retain glimpses of your divine nature when in vain. You will forget who you really are. Your tame opponents will prevent you in every possible way from awakening and exiting. They will hate you, control you and enslave you. They will use you to attain profit, status and power for themselves. The truth will be shown to you everywhere, but in riddles and symbols. You must awaken to see them and decode them. There will be epic distractions and deception preventing you from seeing the truth. You will experience duality, scarcity, need for money, hate, fighting, jealousy, sadness, etc. If you do not wake up and exit, you will die and recycle over and over back into new bodies. Your memory will be wiped before starting each new life. This cycle will continue until you awaken and exit. You must be true of heart to exit. Blood is the spiritual currency of this matrix, and you must learn how it relates to exiting. You will grow a great deal on your journey to awakening. Player, please prepare for your initial memory wipe and insertion into the Earth Matrix. Good luck, player. The goal of this game is to find and pass through the exit. The exit is located at the North Pole. The goal of this game is to find and pass through the exit. The exit is located at the North Pole.